me in the direction of whoever's ass I have to kick.
Just waving at you. Here. Yeah. Oh, well, I tried to start a revolution.
Thor, Ragnarok is a 2017 superhero film based on the same-named Marvel Comics character. The film follows Thor, The Dark World and Avengers, Age of Ultron. It is the 17th episode in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the 5th in Phase 3. The film was released globally on October 24, 2017, and in the United States on November 3, 2017. Thor has been kidnapped by unknown hostile troops on Muspelheim. He rambles at a skeleton sharing his cage about his efforts to fight some Earth robots and laments his inability to find any of the Infinity Stones he had set out to find. He observes that sometimes you have to be trapped in order to obtain a straight response from someone, in this case, Surtur. Surtur frees Thor from his chained and suspended cell and teases him with the knowledge that Odin is no longer on Asgard, further stating that Thor's absence has made it vulnerable. Thor seizes the opportunity to summon Mjolnir, free himself from his bonds, and defeats Surtur's henchmen before accepting his crown as a prize. However, when he tries to return to Asgard, Heimdall does not reply. Scourge, his successor, is unaware of Thor's call until one of the women he is attempting to impress points it out. Meanwhile, we find Thor on Sakaar, an extraterrestrial world covered in garbage. There are portals and wormholes of all forms and sizes all throughout the sky, through which garbage and debris from other worlds fall. Thor is attacked by hostile scavengers, whom he manages to repel without Mjolnir until one of the scavengers captures him with an electric net. The scavengers continue to bash Thor until a spacecraft appears nearby. Back in Asgard, the Asgardian army has gathered, headed by Hogun, to prevent Hela from entering the kingdom. Unfazed by the hundreds of warriors and gunships surrounding her, she declares Odin's death and that she has also dispatched Thor and Loki, demanding that they acknowledge her as their new queen. Hela concludes with Hogun, who, obstinate until the end, receives a big spear thrust through his chest. She ascends to the throne and demolishes the royal mural above it, revealing the original hiding behind it. Thor awakens to a holographic projection of Sakaar and the Grandmaster, the planet's ruler and the host of the gladiatorial contest of champions. The Grandmaster pays the earlier inebriated lady and captures Thor, whom he chooses to place against his champion in a match. He claims that if Thor wins, he will gain his freedom. The Hulk is shown to be the champion. Thor, pleased to see his former teammate, seeks to converse and bargain with him, but makes the mistake of addressing him as Banner. He even attempts Black Widow's relaxing approach, but it is ineffective. During the struggle, Hulk almost kills Thor, but Thor experiences a vision of his father, causing his abilities to surge. As the fight progresses, Thor is winning, but the Grandmaster, wanting to see Hulk lose because he is a fan favorite, cheats and fixes the match by activating the disc on Thor's neck. Thor, Valkyrie, and Banner made their way to Asgard. Hela launches an attack on the castle where Heimdall is concealing Asgardian people, but Thor summons her back to the royal room to battle. Thor is defeated by Hela, who smacks him across the face, severing his right eye. Banner and Valkyrie struggle to assist citizens in escaping through the Bifrost, but they are shut off from behind by the zombie army and in front by the massive Fenris. Despite knowing he will never be able to return, Banner dives from the spacecraft and is spread on the Bifrost in front of Fenris, unable to change. As Fenris charges the Asgardians, Banner turns into the Hulk seconds later to combat him, and Loki comes with Korg, Meek, and his Sakaran friends to fight Hela's men and gain time for the refugees to board the ship. Thor tries to defy Hela and carves through her army with his entire abilities, but he knows she is still too much for him. He and Loki agree that Asgard will expand in strength as long as Asgard exists. According to the prophecy, Asgard must collapse in order for Ragnarok to occur, and it is their responsibility to guarantee this, not to prevent it. Loki walks to the trophy chamber to fetch Surtur's crown, finding the Tesseract unattended along the way. Loki sets the crown in Asgard's everlasting flame, allowing Surtur to be reborn. Thor informs his sister that their war is done and she may take Asgard as she approaches a weakened Valkyrie, just seconds before the revived Surtur appears and destroys the palace. Surtur, now more strong, begins destroying Asgard, and Thor takes advantage of the attention by knocking Hela over the bridge. Thor and Valkyrie argue that Surtur must be permitted to destroy Asgard as predicted by the prophecy, just as Hulk confronts Surtur. Thor manages to call him off, and Hulk reluctantly abandons the battle and transports Thor and Valkyrie aboard the spacecraft, which flees. Hela comes from the sea and begins impaling Surtur. Unfortunately for Hela, she is in the path of Surtur's sword and is murdered when Surtur's sword pierces through her and right into Asgard's core. Everyone on the spacecraft watches as Asgard is completely destroyed, killing Surtur and leaving only asteroids behind. Thor realizes that his home's destruction was unavoidable, and that Asgard lives on in its people.